In a world filled with loud declarations, constant texting and flashy displays of romance, real love often speaks the quietest. It's easy to be swept off your feet by flowers, grand gestures, and social media posts. But if you've ever been truly loved by a man, not just admired, not just wanted, but loved, then you know it's rarely loud. It's steady, subtle, and deeply felt. You might be wondering, does he really love me, or is he just saying the right things? Because let's be honest, words are easy. I love you can come from anyone, but actions, especially the quiet, everyday ones, those are harder to fake. Those are the real language of love. There are men who may not always express their feelings openly, who may struggle to articulate what they feel deep inside. But that doesn't mean the love isn't there. In fact, it's often in the silent ways they show up that you begin to see just how deeply they care. It's in how he watches you when you're not looking, how he remembers that one small thing you said weeks ago, how he stands just a little closer when you're in a crowded space. These aren't just habits, they're instincts, unspoken signals from a heart that's quietly devoted to you. And if you've ever doubted where you stand with him, if you've ever felt unsure because he isn't the most verbal or expressive, this is your reminder. Real love isn't always loud. Sometimes the man who truly loves you is the one doing the most quietly, behind the scenes, with no need for recognition. So today, we're uncovering the 15 silent ways a man shows he loves you. These aren't just behaviors, they're emotional fingerprints. Tiny, powerful ways he tells you, I choose you, I protect you, I'm here, even when I don't say it out loud. If you've ever felt one of these signs, you know exactly what I mean. And if you haven't yet, don't worry. You'll recognize it when it comes. Because when a man truly loves you, he doesn't always have to speak. His heart will show you, one quiet moment at a time. Let's dive in. 1. He remembers the little things you say. When a man truly loves you, he doesn't always say it out loud. Instead, it shows in the quiet, unnoticed details, like how he remembers the little things you say. It might seem small to others, even forgettable, but to him, it matters. You could mention your favorite snack in passing, or talk about a childhood memory just once. And somehow, weeks later, he surprises you with that exact snack, or brings up that memory like it meant something to him too. It's not about grand gestures, it's about the way he listens. He's paying attention, even when it doesn't look like he is. You might casually say you're nervous about a meeting at work, and without making a big deal of it, he checks in with you later that day, asking how it went. That's not coincidence. That's love speaking in silence. It means he values what comes out of your mouth, no matter how random or ordinary. Your voice lingers in his mind, not just your presence. This kind of love doesn't ask for recognition. He's not doing it to prove a point or to win anything. It's simply his natural instinct when he cares. Your likes, dislikes, fears, and dreams start to matter to him as if they were his own. That's why even something as subtle as remembering how you like your coffee or what song makes you cry becomes a way of saying, I'm with you, I hear you, I see you. It's easy to say, I love you, but remembering the things you say, the tiny, overlooked pieces of your life, is his way of whispering it over and over again without using those 3 words. 2. He makes time, even when he's busy. Love isn't always shown through poetry or passion. Sometimes it's revealed in something as simple and powerful as time. When a man is genuinely in love with you, he doesn't just make time when it's convenient. He makes time even when he's busy, no matter how packed his schedule is, how many responsibilities weigh on his shoulders, or how tired he might be. He finds moments for you. Not because he has to, but because he wants to. He could be juggling deadlines, family, work stress, or personal struggles. But if you need to talk, if you had a rough day, or even if you just crossed his mind, he'll find a way to reach out. A quick call, a short message, a brief visit. It may not always be grand or long, but it's always intentional. He understands that presence matters, even if it's just a few minutes. That quiet sacrifice of his own rest or comfort speaks louder than flowers ever could. And when he's with you, you can feel that his mind isn't somewhere else. He's not distracted. He's not checking his watch. He's there, really there, because love, to him, means showing up. Not just physically, but emotionally too. You never feel like a task on his to-do list. You feel like a part of his world he doesn't want to miss. Busy men don't give time to just anyone. So when he gives it to you, especially when it's hard for him to do so, it's a quiet, steady form of devotion. He may never say, "You're my priority," but every moment he carves out, no matter how hectic his life is, says it without needing words. 3. He listens more than he talks. There's something deeply intimate about being truly listened to. When a man loves you, he doesn't dominate the conversation or try to impress you with constant words. Instead, he listens more than he talks. Not the kind of listening where someone waits for their turn to speak, but the quiet, focused kind, where his eyes don't leave yours, and his mind is entirely on what you're saying. You can feel the difference. He isn't nodding just to be polite or distracted by his phone. He's absorbing your words, remembering your pauses, catching your tone. He notices the things you don't even say out loud, the hesitation in your voice, the sigh at the end of a sentence, the stories you skip over too quickly. He picks up on those silent cues and carries them with him, because to him, your voice carries weight. When he loves you, he finds value in your thoughts. Even if he doesn't have a solution, even if the problem isn't his to fix, he listens anyway, fully present. He wants to understand you, not just respond. And when he does speak, it's usually after giving you all the space to express yourself. His words are careful, thoughtful, because they've been shaped by truly hearing yours. Listening is often overlooked, but for a man in love, it's one of the most powerful tools he uses to connect. It's his way of showing you that you matter, that your words deserve space, your emotions deserve room, and your truth deserves to be heard. When he listens more than he talks, what he's really saying is, "You're safe with me. I want to know you, not just talk at you." And that, in love, is everything. 4. He protects you in subtle ways. Love doesn't always show up with loud declarations or dramatic gestures. Sometimes it reveals itself in quiet, unnoticed acts, like the way a man protects you in subtle ways. He may not throw himself in front of danger like in the movies, but in real life, his protection looks different, softer, quieter, and deeply meaningful. He notices when you're uncomfortable in a room full of strangers and gently shifts closer to you. He walks on the outside of the sidewalk without saying a word. He texts to make sure you got home safely, not because he doesn't trust you, but because he needs to know you're okay. These small things may not grab attention, but they come from a place of care he doesn't always verbalize. His protective instinct isn't about control, it's about presence. It's the way he subtly steers you away from something that might hurt you, even emotionally. If someone speaks down to you in a conversation, you might not catch it, but he does. And later, in private, he checks in to make sure you're not carrying any hurt. He remembers your triggers, your past pains, and he quietly avoids stepping on those wounds. Not for himself, for you. He doesn't do it for applause. You may never even realize all the ways he tries to keep your world steady and safe. But the man who loves you won't wait for a crisis to prove his loyalty. Instead, his love shows up in calm, consistent ways. Making sure your chair is sturdy, that your car has fuel, that your heart doesn't feel alone in this world. His protection isn't loud, but it's constant. And that kind of quiet shield is a love language all its own. He notices when you're not okay. When a man truly loves you, he doesn't need you to say, "I'm not okay." He just knows. He picks up on the shift in your tone, the way your smile doesn't quite reach your eyes, or how your messages come a little slower, shorter, softer. You may try to brush it off, act like everything's fine, but he notices, not because he's prying, but because he's tuned in. To you, to your moods, to your silences. He can tell when you're laughing to hide the weight you're carrying. He hears the heaviness beneath your "I'm tired." And even if you don't have the words to explain what's wrong, he doesn't push. He just stays close. Sometimes it's a quiet hug. Sometimes it's sitting beside you without needing to talk. Sometimes it's simply checking in at just the right moment with a gentle, "Are you sure you're okay?" This isn't about mind reading. It's about care, attention, emotional awareness. He watches you closely, not to control you, but because how you feel matters deeply to him. Your well-being becomes part of his inner world, and that's why he doesn't wait for a breakdown to offer comfort. He reaches out early, sensing the storm before you even name it. You may have spent years being the strong one, the one who hides pain behind smiles, but when you're loved like this, you don't have to wear a mask. He notices, even when you try not to show it. That kind of love doesn't ask, "What's wrong with you?" It quietly says, "I'm here. Even if you don't want to talk, I'm not going anywhere." And sometimes that's all the healing you need. 6. He supports your dreams without judgment. When a man genuinely loves you, he doesn't just love who you are today. He believes in who you want to become. He supports your dreams without judgment, even when they seem far away, risky, or different from what others expect. He doesn't laugh when you share a big idea. He doesn't question your ambition or belittle your goals. Instead, he listens with interest, encourages you with sincerity, and stands beside you, not above you. You might say you want to go back to school at 40, start a business from scratch, write a book, or change careers entirely. He doesn't respond with doubt. He doesn't say, "Are you sure?" or "That's too hard." He says, "How can I help?" He asks questions not to poke holes, but to understand what you need. His belief in you is quiet, but it's powerful. And more than anything, it's steady. There's no jealousy when you grow, no insecurity when you shine. He's not intimidated by your success or threatened by your ambition. He's proud, genuinely proud, because when you win, he feels like he's winning too. He doesn't try to steer you in a direction that benefits him more than you. He lets you lead your own path, but he's always walking beside you. Sometimes the world can feel full of people who doubt your ability or question your worth. But the man who loves you won't be one of them. He'll be the one saying, "Keep going, even when you feel like quitting." And even if your dream shifts or fails, he doesn't say, "I told you so." He reminds you that your courage matters, that trying matters, that you matter, because loving you means loving the fire in you, even when it flickers, even when it changes shape. And that kind of support is rare. 7. He mirrors your actions and words. When a man is truly connected to you, emotionally, mentally, even spiritually, you'll often see it in the subtle ways he mirrors your actions and words. It's not something he does consciously or with calculation. It's a natural response, a kind of unspoken intimacy that grows when someone is genuinely present with you. He picks up on your expressions, your phrases, your habits, not to copy, but because he's deeply tuned into your rhythm. You might notice him repeating a little joke you always say, or adjusting his pace to match yours when you walk. Maybe he starts using a phrase you say often, or orders a dish you introduced him to. These small reflections are his way of saying, I see you. I value the way you move through the world. It's like your presence slowly blends into his, without either of you even trying. It goes even deeper than habits. If you smile when greeting people, he starts doing it more too. If you're gentle in your reactions, he becomes softer with his as well. Love does that. It draws people into sync. His body language leans in when yours does. He nods when you nod. He matches your tone in conversation, showing that he's not just hearing you, he's feeling you. This mirroring builds connection. It's a quiet sign that he's emotionally in step with you, that he wants to be aligned with your energy, your mood, your presence. And while it may seem small on the surface, it's one of the clearest signs of closeness. You become part of his unconscious world, the way someone he admires and cares for deeply just naturally would. When love is real, it shows up in the little ways people reflect each other, and those little ways often speak the loudest. 8. He does things without being asked. When a man loves you, truly loves you, he doesn't wait to be told what you need. He notices, he anticipates, and more than that, he acts without being asked. It's not about grand gestures or dramatic surprises. It's the quiet consistency of care, the small thoughtful actions that say, I'm thinking of you, even when you're not around. He sees your coffee cup is empty and refills it. He remembers you had a tough meeting and texts just to check in. He washes the dishes after dinner, not because you asked, but because he wants to make your evening easier. Maybe you mention once that your favorite snack is hard to find, and a week later, it shows up in your kitchen. These are not random favors. They're love in motion. He doesn't need a to-do list to know how to show up for you, and he never makes you feel like caring for you is a chore. In fact, he finds joy in it, because your happiness, your peace, your ease, those things matter to him. He understands that love is not just words. It's showing up in ways big and small, especially when no one is watching. When you're exhausted, he quietly takes on more. When you forget something, he gently fills in the gap, and he doesn't make a show of it. He's not doing it for praise. He's doing it because he's chosen you. And choosing someone means showing up even when it's inconvenient, even when it goes unnoticed. That kind of love doesn't knock on the door and ask for instructions. It walks in, sees what's needed, and gets to work with kindness, with heart, and with no expectations in return. That's when you know it's real. 9. He includes you in his future plans. When a man truly loves you, the future isn't just about him anymore. It's about both of you. He starts to include you in his plans, not with forced words or grand promises, but with quiet confidence and intention. You'll hear it in the way he talks about next year, or when we move, or even in something as simple as planning a trip and saying, we'll go there together. That subtle shift from I to we speaks volumes. He doesn't make you feel like a temporary part of his life. You're not just a moment. You're a direction. When opportunities come his way, whether it's a job offer in another city or a chance to buy a home, he asks what you think, not out of obligation, but because your opinion holds weight. Your presence in his life is not something he's testing, it's something he's counting on. And he does more than talk. He makes space for you in the long-term things. He introduces you to the people who matter most to him. He considers how decisions might affect you. Even when he's not entirely sure what's ahead, he speaks with the kind of language that lets you know. He sees you by his side through it all. It doesn't mean he rushes things. Real love isn't reckless. But when a man is serious, he lets you into his vision. He wants to build with you, grow with you, dream with you. And even in the face of uncertainty, his plans will quietly, naturally begin to shape around you. Because for him, imagining life without you simply doesn't make sense anymore. 10. He respects your space and silence. When a man genuinely loves you, he doesn't just cherish the moments you share. He honors the moments you need for yourself. He understands that love isn't about constant closeness or filling every silence with words. It's about trust, about comfort, about giving you the freedom to breathe without fear of losing him. He doesn't get insecure when you pull back to rest, think, or be alone. He doesn't guilt-trip you for needing space. Instead, he respects it. He trusts that your distance isn't rejection, it's just part of being human. And instead of chasing, he stays steady, present, available. He knows that real love doesn't suffocate. It gives room for both people to be whole. When you're quiet, he doesn't pressure you to talk. He doesn't demand explanations or try to fix things that don't need fixing. He just lets you be, and in doing so, makes you feel safe. Not every silence needs to be filled. Sometimes, just sitting beside someone who understands is enough. And when you return, when you're ready to laugh again, to open up, to come closer, he doesn't make it about himself. He welcomes you back with warmth, without bitterness or complaint. Because he never saw your space as a threat. He saw it as part of who you are. And he loves that person fully. Love like that is rare. It's quiet, patient, and deeply respectful. It says, I'm here for the noise, but I'm here for the stillness too. And that kind of love, the kind that honors your silence as much as your voice, is the kind that lasts. 11. He sacrifices comfort to see you happy. When a man truly loves you, your happiness becomes part of his. And sometimes, without ever saying a word, he starts to give up small pieces of his own comfort just to see you smile. Not because he has to, not because you ask, but because something inside him genuinely wants to ease your burdens, even at the cost of his own ease. He'll drive across town after a long workday just to spend a few minutes with you. He'll let you pick the movie, the restaurant, or the weekend plans, not because he doesn't have preferences, but because seeing you excited makes it worth it. He'll wake up earlier than usual to help you prepare for a big day, or stay up late listening when you're anxious and can't sleep, even if he has an early morning ahead. Love shows up in those quiet choices, skipping the game to attend your event, using his day off to help you with errands, letting you have the last piece of dessert even though he wanted it too. They're not always big gestures, but they add up. These little sacrifices are his way of putting you first without fanfare or expectation. And when something truly matters to you, something deep, personal, emotional, he doesn't dismiss it. Even if it makes him uncomfortable, even if it challenges him, he stays in it with you. Because your joy matters. Your peace matters. You matter. Real love is unselfish. It doesn't keep score. It doesn't hold sacrifices over your head. It simply gives, quietly and willingly, because love, real love, finds its happiness in yours. That's the kind of man whose actions speak even louder than his words. 12. He watches you when you're not looking. When a man truly loves you, some of the most telling moments are the ones you never even see, because they happen when you're not looking. It's in those quiet seconds, when your back is turned or you're lost in thought, that his eyes linger just a little longer, not out of lust, but out of deep admiration and tenderness. He watches the way you laugh when you're completely unfiltered, the way you push your hair behind your ear when you're focused. He notices how you light up when you talk about something you love, or how you furrow your brow when you're thinking hard. These aren't things he stares at. They're things he treasures, things that remind him, in the stillness, just how much he feels for you. It's not about being possessive. It's about being present. A man who loves you doesn't need you to perform. He's just genuinely captivated by you, as you are. And sometimes, he'll catch himself smiling just watching you go about your day. You won't even know he's doing it. But to him, those moments are golden. He watches you with softness in his eyes when you're stressed, trying to decide whether to comfort you now or give you space. He observes the little ways you interact with the world, how you treat people, how you care for things, and those things stay with him. They shape how he sees you, how he understands you. There's something deeply intimate about being looked at with love when you're not even trying to be seen. It means he's not just in love with your presence, he's in love with your essence. And it's those silent glances, unnoticed and unspoken, that often carry the truest weight of his feelings. 13. He shares things he never tells anyone else. When a man loves you deeply, there comes a moment when the walls he's always held up begin to lower, not with everyone, but with you. He starts to share parts of himself he's never revealed before, not because he wants sympathy or needs validation, but because with you, he feels safe, he feels seen, and that safety gives him the courage to let you in. He might talk about childhood memories he never revisits, or open up about past failures, fears, and quiet insecurities he's buried under strength and humour. It's not always dramatic. Sometimes it's just a passing comment about something painful, or a quiet confession of a lifelong dream he's too afraid to chase. But these moments are sacred, because in sharing them, he's offering you access to the most hidden corners of his heart. It's easy to talk about success, to joke, to flirt, but real intimacy is built when someone lets you see the things they're not proud of, the things they've always kept to themselves. And when a man chooses to hand you those pieces, not to impress you, but to trust you, it's a silent declaration of love. He knows you might not fix what's broken inside him. He's not looking for rescue, but he is looking for someone who won't run when they see the full picture. And when he starts telling you things he's never told anyone else, he's hoping you'll stay, even after hearing it all. Because love, at its core, isn't just about connection, it's about vulnerability. It's about saying, here's who I am when no one's watching. Do you still want me? And when the answer is yes, a bond is formed that no surface-level romance can match. 14. He stands up for you quietly. When a man truly loves you, his loyalty doesn't always come with loud declarations or dramatic gestures. Sometimes it's quiet, subtle, but unmistakably strong. He stands up for you in ways you may never even see, because protecting your name, your dignity, and your peace isn't about getting credit. It's about love. He notices when someone disrespects you, even slightly. And while he may not make a scene, he makes it known that it's not acceptable. Maybe it's a firm look. Maybe it's a conversation after the fact. Or maybe it's the decision to create space from people who don't treat you right. Whatever it is, he does it not to prove a point, but to honour you. He won't let others speak about you carelessly. Even when you're not around, he defends your character. He corrects misunderstandings. He shuts down gossip. He makes it clear that you're not alone and that you matter enough to be defended, even when no one's watching. Sometimes standing up for you means taking your side during tough moments, even when it's inconvenient. It means backing you up when you're unsure, believing you when others doubt, or holding the line when someone tries to diminish your worth. And he doesn't always tell you when he does it, because for him, it's not about seeking your praise. It's about protecting what's important to him, you. That kind of quiet strength is rare. It says, I've got you, without needing to shout it. And it builds a deep, lasting trust. Because when a man loves you like that, with quiet courage and unwavering loyalty, you know you're not just loved, you're safe. 15. He smiles at you like you're his world. When a man truly loves you, his smile becomes a window to everything he feels but doesn't always say. It's not just a polite grin or a casual expression. It's the kind of smile that lingers, soft, full of warmth, like he's looking at something precious. And it happens in the quietest moments. When you're talking about something silly, when you're focused on a task, or even when you're not looking at him at all. There's no performance in it, no expectation, just pure admiration. It's in the way his eyes soften every time they meet yours. The way the corners of his mouth turn up just from watching you exist in your own little world. That smile says, "You mean everything to me," without a single word being spoken. Sometimes you'll catch him smiling when nothing special is happening, when you're in sweatpants, hair a mess, just being your natural self. And in those moments, you realize he's not smiling because you're trying to impress him. He's smiling because he sees you fully and loves what he sees. That kind of smile is silent but powerful. It says he's proud of you, that he cherishes you, that you bring him peace. And it's not reserved for big occasions or perfect photos. It shows up on ordinary days, in quiet rooms, when the world feels still. You don't have to ask him how he feels. That smile answers everything. It tells you you're home to him, that no matter what's going on outside, in his heart, you're his center, you're his calm, you're his world.